or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. Its daily update on Bama sports and is brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant. It's now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by Alabama baseball right fielder Bryce Fowler.
The right field Rangers are awesome. So I'm not going to complain about playing right because they're super, super awesome out there, and I love having them out there. So.
Yeah, do you like some of the interactions you get to have with them? They're not heckling you, but you guys have a good time throughout the ballgame.
Yeah, we have a good time. You know, as the game goes on, it definitely gets more funnier and better as the game goes on. Sometimes it can be a little quiet to start the game, just a couple, conversations here and there. But then, you get to the 4th, 5th, 6th inning, everybody's starting to feel good. And it's, hey, Bryce, which I love it. I don't mind it. They like to ask the questions where they ask you 2 questions or a question and it's left hand for one answer, right hand for one answer. They love doing that. So I'm a fan of it. So
I'll have more in a moment.
Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965 by Hal and Melissa Guthrie, Guthrie's was America's first chicken finger restaurant. Guthrie still uses the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe in every chicken finger they serve. Fresh, hot, and fast. Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers has been Alabama owned and operated since 1965, and Guthrie's is still growing strong. Come see us soon. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant, and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered for the 2025 Golden Flake A-Day festivities at Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saturday. Our radio coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. across the full radio network and the Varsity Network app. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
You might not want to be speeding this morning. Just take your time. Just calm down. Breathe in, breathe out. Have a dense fog advisory this morning. So there's that. And there is also, I'm not Scott Tyson. I'm not. No, Steve Moulton here with you, along with Drew DeArmond here on a Friday morning. If you'd like to join the program, you can certainly do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline at 256-576-4977. Who's excited about practice? Let's cover practice. It feels like Allen Iverson should be hosting every single one of these A-Day events because we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice, Drew. Good morning.
Good morning, and and it's kind of a reflection on both sides of the state. Auburn and Alabama are basically doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
doing A-Day.
I don't blame them. I don't.
Yeah, I know everybody has been. Spring games have become a tradition over the last, I'm trying to remember because, of course, back when I was growing up in the 80s, they had them, but there was they weren't like publicized and things of that nature. They certainly weren't on television, but that's kind of been the mantra for the last 40 or 50 years. But look, I mean,
when did they start getting broadcast even on the radio network?
Well,
I mean, we're going to be carrying it tomorrow.
I'll be honest.
Was that mid 90s, maybe late 90s?
Something like that with the radio. But the TV, the big deal on the TV I can remember was when Nick Saban had his first one, and then Alabama sold it out.
Yeah.
And honestly, if Nick Saban hadn't come to Alabama, I don't think they would have been wanting to put it on television. But it was the biggest move of the offseason in college football.
Was that the?
I think that's what set that trend off because Alabama, because I went there with my dad. We went there to support Nick Saban, and we were not expecting it to be full. Nobody was. They only had one side of the stadium open.
Yeah, I remember everybody
was thinking 30,000 people.
Open up they
just kept opening it, and then they opened the upper decks, and then people just kept coming in, and it was just the most amazing thing. That's the first time that ever happened.
Yeah.
And so then they started, it was kind of like a challenge. Nebraska, their fan base, they started doing it. And then Ohio State. And so then it just kind of became a contest, and ESPN rode the wave and televised them all. But everything changes.
They made money off of it.
Yeah, but now the players are making money, and there's transfer portal, and there's paranoid coaches. And so they don't want anybody seeing anything. It's just like for the Alabama scrimmage yesterday, and I only heard about Keelan Russell perform well, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had people blowing me up asking me what happened. It's tight-lipped. There's not a whole lot. We're going to talk to Ryan Fowler at the top of the second hour, but there's not a whole lot of info coming out. And I think a lot of it, too, is coaches wanting to keep their players because now people are wondering can Alabama keep all three quarterbacks? They're not going to announce a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Could someone like Austin Mack move on? I think if you pay attention to the Matt Zennitzes of the world, the 24/7 Sports, and Chris Hummer, I've had Hummer on many times, Matt a few. They're still, and that's what their job is. They report who's going into the portal, and it's been a lot of 90% basketball lately, but there are still players filtering into the portal, like football wise. A lot of FCS kids, but still, people are going into the transfer portal, and so. That's it's a thing until they regulate it. And
portal officially opens on Wednesday. But keep in mind, the portal for some kids open all the time. I mean, the grad transfers, that still happens. Mm-hmm. Just keep in mind when we talk about portal windows, that those are for I would say 90% of the portal. Do you still have those other 10%ers that filter in through grad transfer?
And I don't even consider the same because I've always said on this show and on others, I don't begrudge a kid if you grad transfer. No. If you have your degree in your hand, and you got the pay, you should have the choice to either stay where you're at or go wherever you want to go. Yeah. I've said that's kind of the three things. You should be able to transfer once during your 4 or 5 year window. And then then the other two reasons are if your head coach leaves, you're free to bail because he recruited you, or if you grad transfer. And if you grad transfer, you did what you were supposed to do. You got your degree. And if you want to go somewhere else and you think you'll play more, adios. You ought to be able to do that with no ill will at all.
All right, let's put a pin in this conversation right here. So last night, I'm going to get to be rich here in a second, okay? I promise, John. But last night, Braves and Phillies go into the 6th inning, and all of a sudden, a torrential downpour.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Barrett Slee on this radio station, and the call-ins, one, he's asking people their favorite baseball movie. But anyway, I digress with that. And the other part is he's talking to fans, and what do you think we're going to see tonight? And I don't think we're going to see anything tonight. So, come on now, give us a little. Is Matt Olson going to hit a home run? I don't think Matt Olson's going to hit a home run tonight because I see a lot of orange and red. And so then I'm like you. I'm listening to Barrett Slee, and I'm getting tired. I'm like, you know what? ESPN Radio is doing a perfectly good NBA game, and I know that game's going to go on. It involved the Memphis Grizzlies. So I was like, you know what? All right, I'm just going to flip it over to the NBA game. I wake up this morning.
Austin waving the bat over the plate, now bouncing it on his right shoulder. 2-0, and he drives one
deep left field to the stands and flies. He just put that thing to bed, and it's a tie game. That ball was crushed by Austin Riley. And it's a tie game again, 3 apiece at the bottom of the 7th. Daddy's back. First pitch to Turner, and Turner hits one hard, way up in the air. Back to the wall. It flies. It is out of the ballpark. Eli White climbed the wall, and it was just out of his reach, and Trey Turner gives the Phillies the lead on the homer. First pitch, saw what he liked, and belted it out of here. And it's now 4-3 Phillies. Now the 2-2. Swung on, missed for strike 3, got him on a cutter, and the series tied up a game apiece. Well, these two NL East rivals have played 2 games here in Atlanta, and they have been 2 outstanding.
Wait a second.
That's not even last night, Steve. That's game. That's game 2, man. What are you doing?
I feel like I need to turn around my laptop here. I'm going to the Atlanta Braves affiliate website. I'm clicking on the highlights, and the last group of highlights that I have came from Phillies Braves. They didn't even update their own website. They're still sleeping.
I guess Barrett and the boys went home. But, I mean, I did see how it ended this morning.
Yes.
I got an alert on my Facebook.
I was trying to.
Good job. I mean,
thanks, Braves Radio Network.
Great series win. Good job, Ozuna.
Yeah.
We'll just give it away.
Yeah.
2-run walk.
Yeah. 2-run walk
in the 11th.
In the 11th inning.
Yeah, because I had already gone to sleep. So
I'm about to text Barrett Sully and wake his ass up.
Good God.
That is just.
This is about as good as Butch Jones going to win the SEC championship at Tennessee.
Brick by brick.
Yeah.
Be Rich. My apologies for making you hold through that, sir.
Yeah. What's up,
fellas?
What's up, man?
Drew,
good morning.
I want to wish you a happy birthday, brother.
There it is.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It's a monumental one.
It
I
is.
want you to know, my friend, we have been friends for 35 years, and your friendship
35.
means the world to me. And I hope you understand. And all these years you have spent in this community on air, the impact you've had on all these people in this community. And, man, you just mean the world to me, and we are lucky to have you here. And I want to celebrate with you when you have a chance. So hit me up. Man, I just hope you have the best day, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that very much. And I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. It's kind of interesting. We've known each other for that long and have birthdays on back-to-back days. So certainly I hope you had a happy birthday with your family yesterday. And I certainly hope, to have a great day today. My morning was great so far. I avoided Buford T. Justice this morning. So everything's good. So I hope to have a great one. And, you don't turn 50 every day. So it is the big 5-0 today. And I know you'll join the club next year. So it's an interesting one to join, B. Rich. I'll just say that the years fly
it gets
by.
so much better, Drew. It gets so much better.
Yeah, Moulton's already in the club, so it's hard for me to believe, man. We were talking about this on the drive last night. I've been with this station now 10 years. It doesn't feel like it, but it's certainly awesome to still be here and awesome to be a part of the community and try to bring people entertainment every day. That's for sure, and information.
Well, you
Be Rich.
We there?
Still with to see the fam. If you want to sit on my couch and watch some Masters coverage, you got an open invitation or something. We'll grab some. You just let me know, my friend. You are loved and appreciated, and you mean the world to me and my family. Sure.
Well, I appreciate
Happy
that.
birthday, brother.
Thank you, man, very much. I appreciate the birthday wishes, and of course, your family means a lot to me as well. Known you guys for a long time, and I appreciate all the support and. Appreciate the wishes there, Steve. And it was good to have a birthday present in the morning. I didn't realize. I knew the Braves were in a delay when I went to sleep. So I didn't know if they had restarted.
Yeah, I woke up and I found out, oh my gosh, they won.
And then I saw Ozuna hit it out in front of 2 people. And
Happy
so
birthday, Drew.
I appreciate that. But it was a good early morning birthday present from the Braves.
Yes. I mean, I don't know when that game ended.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's still work that needs to be done, Aggie. Back in Atlanta.
All right.
Yeah, because when I heard the first highlight, they're like, Austin Riley tied it at 3. I'm like, 3. It was 4-2 was the final.
Yeah, but I kept it rolling. I was like,
and then Trey Turner, and I'm like,
highlights that they fed down the network, Aggie.
Oh,
so
good Lord.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Let's at least celebrate a win when we can get a win.
Well, you can, log on to Facebook. You can probably play that. Okay. I think the Braves updated that part of it.
Did they really?
I mean, that's had to be where it came from, or,
Oh, no, that's the affiliate website that I pulled the highlights from.
I was trying to find the Braves the other day on Comcast, though. They're not in another dispute, are they? Because I
don't believe so.
I couldn't find it on Xfinity or whatever. But
yeah.
But it's probably, with all these streaming networks now, they come on different channels.
I believe
it's
FanDuel.
Oh,
the
FanDuel's
network
doing now? I guess I don't have that. Is that every game or?
Well, it's basically what Bally's was. It's that same network.
Then I don't even know if Comcast is even carrying that then.
I don't know that answer.
Yeah, they may not even be carrying FanDuel. Who knows?
I am still a dinosaur that lives with my DirecTV.
Well, I mean, do they have the FanDuel? Well, there you go.
Yes.
Well, I don't even know if Comcast does, because I tried to look up Braves the other day, and all it gave me was the standings, and I was like, okay. I was like, I knew Bally was like in financial peril, but I was like, I just figured that Comcast would carry wherever they were on, and I'm like, okay, maybe that'll happen later in the season. I don't know.
Well, okay. Let's try this, shall we?
Yeah, there you go.
If it'll play.
Uh-oh.
Come on now.
Riley hits it well out to right center.
That's another Riley.
At least tie this game, and that's what it'll do. RBI double. 2 apiece in the 11th.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. So they were down, about to lose.
We see this swing.
So 2 big hits. So it was at least Riley did do something in this game too.
Big moment, not only to get the run in, but to exchange places and get yourself.
That's a long cut there.
And now with a real chance to win this game.
So this is another prep site that we subscribe to here at the station.
Yeah.
This one works, Aggie. This one works. Unlike being a part of the Braves radio network. So I'd like to hear a walk-off. Can I?
Center, the biggest of flies for the Big Bear. And a game that started on April 10th ends on April 11th, and the Braves win the series.
There we
For
go.
the second time in his career, Marcell Ozuna with a walk-off homer. Little floating slider in the middle. He knew it right away. The last time he did
that seems very loud for that neighborhood to be. Whenever that happened, I can only imagine. I mean, there is houses around that stadium in Marietta. That ought to have been fantastic. Of what in the world is going on? Braves winners in 11 innings.
Well, you'd think, I don't know if, since I haven't seen a broadcast, I don't know if Xfinity's still a sponsor. You think if Xfinity's still a sponsor, they would be carrying the FanDuel network.
There's a building right outside the Xfinity building.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, hey, they'd be carrying the FanDuel network.
That's what made that whole dispute even more comical,
right?
Because I was seeing Atlanta Braves beat writers, circling the Xfinity, saying, "Gee, this isn't awkward." I mean, 256-576-4977. So do we just need to line up a bunch of Buford T. Justice?
Well, the funny thing is, I was telling you guys last night.
Yeah.
I was watching the New York Sack Exchange 30 for 30.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's really good. And Joe Klecko, of course, is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And he was the best player on that defensive line. He went into the Hall of Fame in 2023. And a lot of people who are not aficionados like myself probably don't realize that Joe Klecko was in Smokey and the Bandit too as a truck driver.
No, I forgot about that.
Of course, I did recognize him because I was already a football fanatic because I didn't discover the movies until the mid '80s. They were already made. The original one, and then they made 1 and 2, and then 3 came out just on HBO and stuff. But I'll never forget seeing Smokey and the Bandit too, and I was like, wow, that's Joe Klecko. And then I come to find out that he actually, when he was growing up as a young kid playing for Temple, he was already a truck driver. So that's where it came from. But yeah, it's and they spliced in the scene in the New York Sack Exchange.
Well, you mentioned cameos. I immediately think of Cam Neely in Dumb and Dumber.
And don't forget, in Smokey and the Bandit 2, there was also Terry Bradshaw and Joe.
Oh, Green. Yeah. Now, I do remember that.
Mean Joe.
But, I mean.
Mean Joe tackled the car. Remember that. And then Buford said something that would get him, canceled by the Biden administration. But, oh, well, that's just the way things were for 4 years. But it was funny anyway.
So if anybody out there has got a Diablo sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I actually have Powerade, this is Gatorade Zero this morning. So no Diet Dr. Pepper yet.
But he is willing.
I did have a Diablo sandwich for lunch yesterday.
Where
over at Bubby's.
Bubby's
smoked Diablo sandwich.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. That's a fried bologna sandwich.
By the way, on the subject of Bubby's, they'll be catering our lunch.
Yeah.
Out at the.
I just didn't tell them I was in a GD hurry. And running through people's backyards, knocking down mailboxes.
See, happy birthday, Drew.
Thank you.
So, by all means, if you'd like to maybe order you said a smoked Diablo sandwich?
Yeah, it was very good. Smoked Diablo sandwich.
Okay. Head on over to Bubby's. If you want more Bubby's,
the DeArmond over there, though, is a smoked Diablo sandwich with grilled onions and mustard and pickles. I have it done a certain way, but they did a heck of a job. It was good.
Drew always orders stuff very uniquely, and it's not. I mean, I can never remember a time where you picked up a menu and went, just number 3.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always unique. But yeah, that's
I do that at Milo's though. I just get a mega meal.
It's hard to go wrong with the mega meal. It really is.
Really. Yeah.
What kind of pie are you going with?
Apple.
There you go. That's pretty strong.
See, because when I was coming back from the scrimmage last Friday, that's what I had to do. I was like, man, I'm going to get a Milo's because
every time I'm down in that area,
we don't really have one here in the north. No. I mean, there was one in Decatur for a short time. I think
there's one in Athens, maybe.
Might be, but in Decatur they don't have one anymore, and there's not one, in North Alabama.
Surprising.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no. When I've traveled down to the Birmingham area, that's how I treat myself.
Yeah.
Is Milo's.
Cool.
Because half of my refrigerator is Milo's.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's just like a dispenser of my money going into the Milo's pot, so I can get the half and half. I go half and half.
I usually just go with a Splenda.
Oh, well, that's right. You need to.
Well, I do. And I might mix a little bit of the sweet in there, but not much of it. We'll see.
And by the way, for those watching, yes, I know I need to as well. Okay.
I try to,
Yeah. Do what you can. But happy birthday, Drew DeArmond.
Thank you, man.
We are well past our first break. We're so late.
Steve, blowing past the breaks.
We're so late. We will talk.
Remember, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, that's right. There's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. I'll talk to the program director here during the break, and we'll get all on the same page. It's a Friday morning here on Talkin' Ball. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got one wreck showing now in Decatur. This one is southbound coming off the causeway to the Hudson Memorial Bridge. Looking at the north wide, there's a bit of a backup there already, so it may be a slow ride for you. At Jeff Road in Old Monrovia, reported as an injury type. First unit on the scene there reports nobody hurt. Lots of ground fog this morning. You be careful, especially if you got a long way to go. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write the name down now so you have it in the future. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
Can't get a ticket? Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Huntsville has a 2-on-9, and that is a race. Tic-tac-toe, and off we go to Pensacola.
With the Havoc Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Are we going to do what they say can be done? Are we
Oh, come on now, Jerry Reed.
Uh-oh. Well, see, remember, we introduced this to John in the last July, so
yeah, that's right.
He's very familiar with this now.
You're welcome, John.
There we
You're
go.
welcome.
It's a solid movie. I'm going to show it to my kids when I'm older.
Right. It is a classic.
It is a big reason why I am not a heavy drinker, but when I do drink, it's Coors Light. And that's not on, that's, I don't know, residual wise, I don't know if Coors Light knew what they were getting into because there
you go.
That's just where I go. 256-576-4977, the telephone number if you'd like to participate. Yes, the Braves won last night, despite the fact that the radio network did not update their own highlights from their own webpage. Also, we did hear from Hugh Freeze yesterday, Auburn fans. And so Hugh does not feel pressure entering into his third season.
I don't give in to the pressure of nothing really. I don't feel a lot of pressure anymore in life. I think I know we're doing it the right way. I know we're building it the right way. And whatever the results come with that, I'll have to live with. Obviously, we want to do exactly what you said. I think Bruce's comments are just his belief in what we're doing and how we're doing it, and his belief in what Auburn can be. And he's proven that through time. I don't know how long it took him to get his program, but where it is, but he certainly has, and the notoriety and brand recognition that he and his team brought to us certainly helps us. And I think it's just I appreciate his confidence that he knows we're building this the right way, and we'll have chances to do that hopefully in the near future.
That question was in regards to Bruce Pearl saying that Auburn is still a football school, not a basketball school. But it is a very important year for Hugh Freeze.
No, I mean, it is. They do need to get to a bowl game. They need to contend in the top half of the SEC. I'm not going to say they need to get to the playoff. I don't know that he needs to do that to keep his job, but certainly you need to.
It wouldn't hurt.
Well, I wouldn't, but you certainly need to show progress. And you have to understand that Auburn, it's been 4+ years since they won a bowl game, since they what I mean is you want to get to a Florida destination bowl game, if you're winning 8 or 9,
the Pinstripe Bowl is not exactly high on the priority list.
They've been to, the minor bowl games. We have a great relationship with the Birmingham Bowl and the Music City Bowl. They're great events, but they're considered mid-tier bowl games. Let's be honest. So if you're Auburn, you're trying to get, Alabama was in what's considered a good bowl, not a great one, in the Reliant West Bowl, and they didn't win that. But
Kerryon Johnson was a part of that team back in 2017. Why do I mention that? That's your last double-digit win year for the Auburn Tigers. That's 2017.
Yeah, that's when you go back and look at it like that. That is pretty. That's you're getting on close to that 10
was the
years.
back-to-back wins over number ones for Gus Malzahn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the regular season he beat Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
But Kerryon got hurt in the Iron Bowl and he wasn't nearly himself. And then Georgia just
that was a one-score game in the fourth quarter before the injury. Well, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
but that was a game heading into the fourth quarter there between Auburn and Georgia.
It was Georgia did to Auburn what they did to Alabama in the 2021 national championship game. They pulled away in the fourth quarter, made big plays, and then Gus's team wasn't motivated to play against Central Florida. It was just, call it what it is. I've seen Alabama do the same thing. So they weren't, their heads weren't in it. And they didn't get because think about it. You win the SEC championship game, you're in the playoff, and heck, there was a good chance they could have had a rematch with Alabama.
If I'm an Auburn fan or an Auburn supporter,
right
now that we're a couple of years removed of the Brian Harsin experiment, I'd want to know some answers. How did that hire exactly how did that happen? Because that has set back Auburn so much.
Well, that's what Brian Matthews said this week. We talked to Brian, and he just said, and Brian's always very transparent.
Was that purely an Alan Green? Like, you know what? I'm going to hire my guy. That's the rumor. I never got it substantiated.
Well, I think
that it was an Alan Green deal. And I don't know if that was the easier line to push now that hindsight's always 20/20, or what really happened.
Well, I think the search took some twists and turns, but I think Alan Green took control of it and just said, I like Brian Harsin. I've known Brian Harsin. I'm going to go after him. And, people got behind it at first because he had a good record at Boise. Everybody saw what Chris Peterson did when he went from Boise to Washington. He won. But it just became obvious. But I will say this. I still think there would have been a ton of excitement for him. And this is the way of the world. And it's the same thing that Hugh Freeze is going to have to do because right now they've given Hugh a couple of mulligans because, he's trying to clean up the Harsin mess. But if Harsin, if there's not the Bryce Young drive and those overtimes, and if they win the Iron Bowl in Jordan Harris' first year, it's completely different going into year 2. He would have had a ton of momentum. People would have been excited, but they couldn't.
There was a ton of injuries
but they could not finish it. And then we all know what happened. They got whacked in Tuscaloosa, and got whipped. And then by then, I'll be honest, by the middle of his second year,
that was a game where Alabama had 4 turnovers in it as well.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But by the middle of his second year, it was obvious he wasn't even going to come back. So, I mean, there was just so much negativity around the program. Like, this is, they're going to let him finish the season.
Yeah.
But there's no way.
I'm just saying, if I was an Auburn supporter, especially when more universities are looking for more supporters for NIL, I'd want to know some answers.
Well, and then Hugh Freeze had the same kind of loss.
And I know John Goen, it's a different direction. Yeah. John, I mean, he's a good friend of the Drive as well. So I really appreciate his.
And then with Hugh Freeze, it would, if Gravedigger had not happened, if Auburn had won that game, there would have been a ton of momentum for Hugh Freeze going into year 2. And then you're talking about Nick Saban retiring, and then he was 1-1 against Saban, and he beat Saban 3 times. There would be even more excitement. There'd be a ton of excitement going into this year. Yeah. I think what you'd call it this year is cautious optimism with some anxiety, like, okay, that we need to take that step and win 8 or 9
I know this is the time where over-unders get set by Vegas. I haven't looked. I would guess Auburn 7.5.
Because think about it. Maybe. I think we talked about it. That's never happened before where Vandy beat Alabama and Auburn in the same year.
That's right. Yeah, that was first since 1952, if memory serves.
Yeah, so all those close losses for Hugh, because they were close to having a much better team last year.
Yeah,
but
it is 7.5, by the way.
All the close losses deflated everything, and so now I don't think he was not on the hot seat at the end of the year, but there was some frustration because they felt like they didn't make enough progress.
If
offensively.
You win 7 games, this year,
I think he needs to win 8. That's my target, and I'm talking about an 8-4 regular season. I don't think that's out of the question by any stretch. If they show the offensive improvement, a lot of it's going to depend on the quarterback.
Got a big early game at Baylor. I know that.
Yeah, they're a 1.5 favorite. I think
I
saw
really?
That. Yeah, I think I saw early. Alabama's 11.5 at Florida State, but
I need to look at Baylor a little bit closer.
Well, yeah, but look, I'll just say this about that with Dave Aranda. Whoever loses that game, they're going to be feeling the heat early. There's no question about it. And like we said, Jackson Arnold, it's going to depend on his success. But like we were talking to Brian earlier this week, Steve, another big question for Auburn is left tackle. It didn't work. That was one of the biggest mistakes they made last year. They thought Percy Lewis from Mississippi State was going to be the answer, and he was not. He was terrible. And so, I mean, I know that there was tons of conversation, about the inefficiency at the QB spot and the turnovers and all that kind of stuff. But when you don't have a legit SEC left tackle against these defenses, you're going to have it.
I know everybody just wants to point fingers at Peyton Thorne.
Yeah, they wanted to, but Peyton Thorne received a lot of heat because of misreads. But I will say this too. Let's be honest with you. Coleman wasn't what they thought he was going to be. Chris Coleman, his first year.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked great against Alabama A&M in the opener.
Yeah.
But in the big games, he didn't show up.
Yeah.
So you can. I mean, when you do that, that's a problem. And especially when because he was considered on the same plane as Ryan Williams, but he did not produce like Ryan Williams. Now, Keandre Lambert-Smith, I'll give him credit for that. He was a stud. And I've been kind of surprised. These mock drafts, how they get on my nerves. But I was just sort of checking, some of the SEC guys and their draft stock and everything. And to me, I'm just flabbergasted because Milroe they're trying to give him first round buzz late in the process. I'm just talking about all these, you see it on TV, all these, the agents and making all these phone calls.
I haven't heard first round. I've heard high as second round.
Well, there's even people saying, somebody could take he may end up getting a shot in the lower part of the first round. I don't think anybody that knows football really believes that, but there's still people speculating, the Jordan Schultzes of the world on X. But here's the thing, though. Keandre Lambert-Smith, last I heard, they said he was going to be a 4th round pick. And I'm like, I mean, I watched him play
Really?
against Alabama, and I
Yeah.
thought he looked like a second-round pick to me. I thought he looked dangerous.
Yeah, I was going to say second round.
And when I think about his production,
Even late first round potential.
now, and we always talk about the Auburn lack of 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah,
but he had over 900 yards last year, and that's with an offensive line that wasn't very good and an inconsistent quarterback.
Is Arum Shadu still the last 1,000-yard receiver at Auburn?
I think it's Ronnie Daniels in '99, according to.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that.
And then the greatest,
it's even further than that.
And then the greatest Auburn receiver of all time, and he finished in the early '70s. To tell you about the lack of star power at wide receiver at Auburn lately, and he was great. Terry Beasley, he was tremendous, and so he and Patrick Sullivan. And Pat Sullivan. They were the combination. They were both Auburn legends, and both of them were unreal. So, but like you say, it is pretty stunning. I didn't realize that until a few years ago when someone pointed out and said, "Did you realize that Auburn hadn't had 1,000?"
I immediately thought about the 04 Auburn team, and I was thinking about that team, not the '99. Tommy Tuberville team. Wow.
I mean, but like Brian said, they've had several 900-yard receivers.
Yeah.
They just and you would have thought with as much as Terry Bowden threw the ball, with Damian Craig, they would have had more.
Yeah.
But they had some 900-yard receivers, just not 1,000-yard. It's crazy.
There is some odds on the NFL draft since we went there on who the Tennessee Titans are going to pick. In fact, it was updated this morning. I'll tell you what at least the fine folks in Vegas have to say as to where the Titans are heading next. Right here, it's a Friday morning on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid-60s. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, but otherwise it's going to be a quiet afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight. Plenty of sunshine for your Saturday, but we are definitely going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the upper 50s, lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a new wreck going out now. Homer Nance and Gary Glenn Boulevard. That one is coming in as an injury type. And they're still showing that one headed into Decatur southbound on the Hudson Memorial Bridge. It should be clearing pretty quick, though. Still seeing some fog around this morning, although that situation seems to be improving. No hoses, no mask. Dr. Sandman has the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota.
They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that trick never worked.
Another classic cannonball run.
I'm going to let this breathe for a second.
What do you say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. I didn't know you hit it wrong.
It is indeed Talkin' Ball on Drew DeArmond's birthday.
Man,
here this Friday morning.
Back in those days, the music was so good in the movies, man. Wow.
256-576-4977.
Do they even do soundtracks anymore?
I don't know. I don't know. But we do have a charity golf tournament coming up.
We do.
On Monday, April the 21st. There is still time to get in, although spaces are getting more limited. Just the easiest way, if you happen to be in a car right now and just cannot, write down something, I certainly don't want you to not take your hand, leave your hands on the steering wheel by all means. Just head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The slider on the front page will tell you how to get involved. And that is simply shooting us an email, 977WZZNevents@gmail.com. This is why I'm telling you to go to the website, okay? Mm-hmm. Just head over to the website, 977ESPN.com. You'll see the email right there. $200 for an individual if you happen to be a business owner and you've got some quite a few golfers in your business, no matter what it is, he or she, whoever. Come on out and play some golf. It's 4 to a team, $800 for a team. This is all to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and it'll be over at Cherokee Ridge. That'll be Monday, April 21st. So that is coming up. 256-576-4977 is the telephone number. I mentioned that also coming up. So Monday is the golf tournament on the 21st. Well, that Thursday is the first round of the NFL draft. That is Thursday, April the 24th. The Tennessee Titans still with the first overall pick, at least as it stands right now. They well earned there for the Tennessee Titans.
Don't fall for it. I told Joe Hunk this. Don't draft Cam Ward. I think it's a mistake. I think they should draft Travis Hunter and then make a trade.
I'm with you 1,000%. But here are your odds, at least from this is FanDuel as well as a few other books.
Yeah,
they combined them for the overall.
You mean where I can't watch the Braves?
Yeah. You can't watch the Braves there either.
Yeah.
Cam Ward is your odds-on favorite to be the first overall pick for the Tennessee Titans. That's followed by Abdul Carter, then Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart.
Oh, my God.
Jackson Dart made the list.
Did they watch the film against Kentucky?
Well, Jackson Dart did compare himself to Jalen Hurts.
Well, he does use his legs. I'll give him that.
Is Jackson Dart heading to Lambeau, much like Jalen Hurts is heading to Lambeau?
I haven't. I know that you're talking about Jalen Milroe, right?
Oh yes, Jalen Milroe is heading to Lambeau.
He's heading to Lambeau. I don't know if Jackson Dart is.
If Jackson Dart, I have flashes of Jake Locker in my head.
Wow. Well, I actually thought Jake Locker was a better college player than Jackson Dart, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So,
and that did not end well either between the Titans and Jake Locker from back in the day.
Right.
256-576-4977, the telephone number. Before we get to the phone lines, we do need to take our final time out. I promise this last segment will be nothing but your phone calls on the other side. Yeah, this is the Tom Abraham break right here.
Taking that third
I'm
one.
not quite to 49 now. I'm at 47. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit more time on the other side.
Hold on, Jason. We'll come to you.
Hold on, Buford T. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Drive.
You know, both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted Best Wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
I can totally see Drew in the roller rink?
No, I would have been playing Pac-Man.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if anybody knows me well.
Yeah.
Miss Pac-Man.
Okay.
That's what they had. Pole position.
Drew and I are somewhat in the same age group. I'm 51. He's 50.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the roller rink back in the day, I'm telling you.
It was.
That was a thing.
It was a thing.
That was a real thing. But also, to get your balance and bearings, you'd roll on the carpet right before you jump onto that slick surface that I always felt like had like that grease on it, too, that you would just slide and skin your knees and elbows and really show everybody how uncoordinated you really are. Maybe I'm speaking a little too specifically about my experience.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders, his odds to make it into the National Football League, where you land is a big deal. And at least according to the fine folks out in Vegas, the odds-on favorite for Shedeur Sanders is to land in New Orleans and be a Saint. That's followed by the Steelers as well as the Jets. They're on the list. And then the Cleveland Browns.
Johnny's team there. But speaking of
let's head out to the phone line, shall we?
Go.
Who's first up?
Jason, I believe, has been waiting.
How are we doing there, Jason?
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we hated to say Browns and then Jason, but that's just what we were doing.
Yeah. Hey, the skating ring, that was a nightmare. But some of them had rails where you could hold it and go around.
Right.
And then some girl would ask you if you wanted to dance, but you couldn't skate, and you yank her and her both down.
Jason, sounds like you're telling on yourself now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't skate.
Nah.
No, that's I don't know.
Right.
I got a question for both of you.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. With Alabama having the Brooks kid from New Jersey, the transfer from Miami and Jeremy Bernard, and the Hale kid coming back, where's Ryan Williams and Mwabwe going to be? I got a feeling they may get left out here.
No, Ryan Williams is the dude, man.
He'll be
Ryan Williams will be, I think, Uno number one, or at least 1A, 1B, whatever you want to say.
I get a Devontae Smith feel around Ryan Williams.
Then they're definitely Jeremy's going to be a big part of it, and then Horton is, I think, going to be in that top three. And then we'll see. Don't forget Cole Adams too. Cole Adams, if he can stay healthy,
that was a big injury
player
last year too.
But I do think, as far as Latsier, I think he's going to force his way. I think he's a force of nature. I think he is that good. I think he's going to be in that top four and making plays. But I think the group as a whole is going to be a lot more dynamic than they were a year ago when it was basically Jeremy, Ryan, and Prey.
Will the weakness be at linebacker this year?
I think the linebacker core will be solid. Yeah, Lawson and Jefferson aren't practicing right now, but they've been able to get some young guys like Duke Johnson, Luke Metz, some younger guys, some reps that I think will provide depth. Let's just put it that way. They're going to get comfortable. Abdul Sanders has also been another young freshman that's done a nice job, but I still think, and then on the edge, Justin Hill kind of backing up Quay Russaw, but I think the Russaw and of course the veterans Lawson and Jefferson are going to carry the mail. But I think they're these guys being, especially the two inside guys being hurt, has allowed them to get some reps to some young guys. And the one thing I will say about Kane too, they played a lot of guys last year. So, and they don't mind playing young players if they don't make mental errors. And that was one thing where Nick Saban kind of was ride with your starters. He didn't play a ton of guys, and that was just his philosophy. But this staff plays a lot of people, and I think they're developing that depth. And I'll just tell you this, they're ridiculously deep defensively in the backfield. Like the DBs, that group is loaded.
Hey, Moulton, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Hubert Freeze, when is the last time that he's ever played a quarterback he's recruited? Because I got to thinking Bo Wallace, transfer.
That's right.
What was the next one? Chad Kelly.
He got Chad Kelly out of JUCO. Yeah.
I'm sure there may be someone I'm not thinking of at Liberty. I mean,
Malik Willis, where'd he come from?
He came from Auburn. He came from Auburn.
Yeah. I guarantee you the quarterback he coached when Michael Orr was on his high school team was probably a transfer to a private school. Has he ever really brought one in? Because he run the 3 recruits off at Auburn because he maybe needs somebody else to build them up.
I don't have that answer off the top of my head. I never really have connected those dots like you did, Jason.
Nice job, Jason.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm not. Don't apologize.
Great conversation.
Yeah,
we appreciate the call. We just got to go to Brandon because I know he's wanting to tell us about food in the Dominican Republic. What up, Brandon?
Good morning, Brandon.
Deal. Thank you, Brandon.
What's up, Brandon?
Brandon,
what is going on, gentlemen?
Are you on the boat?
He sounds like he's underwater right now.
All right.
I am on the boat. We're coming back in the port on the other side of the Dominican, and
of course
I dread to see what my phone bill is going to look like. It's probably going to look like somebody got out of control with a 900 number back in the 90s.
Wow.
We won't talk about those.
Wow.
I figured since we were talking about skating, we'll bring up 900.
Wow.
Yeah.
And speaking of 900, did you see the prices at KFC?
I did not.
Did I text? I sent you some pictures, you and Scott.
Gotcha.
Well, Scott ain't here this morning.
Yeah.
Well,
happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, and continue have a good time in the Dominican. I mean, this is another.
I've never been on a cruise.
Yeah,
I've never been on a cruise.
So, but Brandon's living through all of this.
Yeah, that's right.
If you've never been in a cab in the Dominican Republic, you have never lived. There are no rules. It's like Cannonball Run on steroids. These people down here, they do not care. They will run you off the curb. They will hold the finger out the window going through there. There's no stop signs, no red lights, no nothing. It's just free for everybody to do whatever the hell you want to do. Survival of the fittest.
Well,
wow.
Stay on the boat. Stay on the boat.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, Brandon.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Denny Hamlin, the 4-1 favorite to win the spring race at Bristol Sunday. Kyle Larson plus 450. Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, both plus 650. Chase Elliott plus 850. Justin Rose atop the leaderboard after the first round of the Masters at Augusta National, a 7-under-65. He's 7-1 to win it. Scotty Scheffler remains a favorite at 2-1. He has 3 shots off the pace at 4 under par. Memphis Grizzlies today a 7-point road dog at Denver, 239.5 the total. Braves coming off a series win over the Phillies, minus 108 at Tampa Bay today, minus 112. The total 8.5 shaded to the under. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
No Scott Tyson, Steve Moulton here with you on a Friday morning. It's going to be a long day for yours truly. Yeah. I got hockey coming up tonight, and hockey ain't here. as the Huntsville Havoc heading up to Evansville. The team is already up there, but we'll be heading out around about noon-ish to head up to Evansville. And there was an overtime game last night. Quad City was up 3-0 over the top seed Peoria. 3-0.
And they blew it?
And Peoria wins in overtime 5-4.
Oh, my God.
In fact, Quad City scored a goal with 0.2 on the clock in the third period to force it to overtime.
I don't know. Brandon just tried to hook us up here. Yeah. It's in your. It's on. He sent it to you too, but he wasn't lying. I don't know how it translates over in the Dominican, but if this is really true, I didn't realize KFC was worth $999.
Yeah, that's no bueno. That's no bueno right there.
I don't even eat it here, so I'm not paying. Love that chicken at Popeyes.
Yeah, no bueno there.
Oh my
Birmingham,
God.
They were winners last night, and Fayetteville 4-2. I will have Havoc in Evansville coming up tonight, and it'll be on the Havoc zone. So it is going to be a long day for yours truly.
Well, Scott was telling me it's a 4-hour bus ride.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour bus ride.
Yeah,
and we are hopping on the bus right after as well.
Ooh, man.
Yeah. The potential of a game 3 is still out there. Should there be a need for a game 3 if tonight's game doesn't go how we want? And then that'll be tomorrow night right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. There is a potential that we could JIP the game tonight if the Alabama-Mississippi State baseball matchup goes as efficiently as I want it to.
Right.
And that rolls into the very first game that you're going to hear tomorrow morning is the 8A practice. Yeah, I've reached out to both Andy Burcham and Chris Stewart about how in the world are you prepping for a practice.
Well,
and I'm getting from both of them.
I don't know. We can ask our next guest. He talked. He had the man on the bat phone yesterday.
Of course he did.
Show.
Of course he did.
On Tide 109, the longest running.
Well, I wanted to talk a little hockey because I know he is a very. Well,
he does like
the
Havoc.
Yeah.
I mean, we understand that. He's been to see a Havoc game.
You are more than welcome to hop on the bus with me, Ryan Fowler.
Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, good morning. Was there any fights? No fights? I mean, that's
there was a couple of fights. Yeah, there was a couple of fights.
Okay.
Right.
It's kind of like when I go to NASCAR, I'm pulling for Rex. I mean, I know that's kind of gross, but it's I don't want nobody to get hurt, but I mean, I do like the fights and love to go and watch a good hockey match. When my wife are in a city that's got hockey, we always love to participate. I mean, it's just a fun environment, and it's just, I guess, is it probably the better? To me, like, these people are watching golf right now, and I'm thinking, sorry, this is going to offend like half your audience. Okay, that there has to be the most boringest sport. Oh, I'm sophisticated. Oh, yes, I'm part of the elite. Oh, yes, part of the elite. Anyway, I'll take a hockey crowd any day over a golf crowd. It just,
I was giving you the Augusta music in the background.
I mean, but Steve could probably tell you, but it's getting obscene to this point, and it's amazing, and it's a total credit to Keith Jeffries and Coach DeTulio and everybody in the organization. But there's an obscene number of sellouts in a row for the Havoc.
Okay, cool, super cool, super
I mean,
cool.
it's hard to get tickets.
Loves hockey. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys love golf. Are you Drew? Are you a golf guy? I mean,
hell no.
Okay,
I sure as hell don't look like one either.
Yeah, like I had people tell me this week that they're going to watch the Masters overcoming the A.
Well, so, I'll just say this: a few years ago, a good friend of mine in the radio business that we both know that recently had a birthday with his twin brother. Just to give you a hint.
Oh, really?
He hooked me up, and I gave my father and my cousins passes to the Masters. I didn't go.
Yeah.
I gave it to my dad because of how much it meant to him.
You had an opportunity to go.
Yes, but I gave it to my dad because my dad That's one thing he never
walk
misses,
the grounds.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
He walked the ground.
That's. I mean, and
it was unreal.
Pretty darn hilly.
He told me that. He said it doesn't do it justice.
No, it really doesn't.
I mean, it was crazy. He got a chance to walk all 18, even though it rained a little bit that day. And then the historic part of it, I believe it was on a Friday, he got to walk the course, but Tiger Woods won. It was the
the 19.
Yeah,
this
is
2019.
I believe I was going to say it was 2019.
Yeah.
It was the last year, the last major of Tiger's career potentially. So.
Yeah, and I respect the game. It's just watching
I do
it
too.
is the part. Yeah, like I respect the mental focus that it takes, the physicality, the consistency, the muscle memory. But to sit there and watch it, no. No. I mean, listen, I'd rather. I can't think of anything. I mean, listen, if you're watching the last two holes, there at the Masters on Sunday. Okay, that's a little different. But I had people this week that were watching the practice rounds, and I'm just like, "Oh, you guys make fun of me for watching, recruiting tape or watching some film." Man, I tell you, I mean, it is like I said, and it's I respect the athletes, but the observing it part. But to go back to hockey, to me, it's the exciting part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hockey is intense. It's probably more intense. Or as intense as a football game. Just from the crowd interaction standpoint. Love it.
Well, you did a great a segue there with muscle memory, anticipation, and talking about things that quarterbacks must do. And you had Kalen DeBoer on your show yesterday, and he gave everybody a quarterback update. Some very interesting comments Kalen DeBoer had about how the quarterback position needs to be played at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, he's not looking for a game manager. He's not looking for a guy that's not going to, push the football down the field. He wants the guy, kind of synced up with what Ryan Grubb said a few weeks ago with being aggressive. I love that play calling. He was asked about, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And he mentioned that he wanted to be aggressive. I thought it was a good update. I also understand that next week is the portal, okay? And that 10 days, I almost wonder if I asked him that question on May the 10th rather than on April the 10th, would it have been different? And I'm not saying that Coach DeBoer was being disingenuous. I just think this is where coaches have got to be. I mean, they can't criticize one player and praise another because they'll be sitting there with very limited, players. I mean, they've got to manage the portal. You must manage the portal. That's your number one priority. And I look at, this quarterback competition and Drew, I know you and Steve and everybody else, we've all heard things. I don't think it's as 3 equal. It might be 2 equal.
Right.
I don't feel like that it's 3 just, because he used the word no separation from the 3. I don't know if that's maybe the way they see it, but if everything that I've heard has been correct, to me, it's not as equal as maybe the sales pitch there. But hey, I get what coach is trying to do, and you have to respect him for trying to do that. He needs to keep all 3 of these guys on campus, and he's doing everything in his power to do that.
He certainly is, and his quote here on your show is very interesting. He said, I don't want just a game manager like you were talking about. If we're going to win at the level we want to win at, we want a guy that's going to produce, make the big plays. But obviously there's a piece too where you can't make the big mistakes. We all know that, especially in the critical moments, whether it's in the red zone, end of games, the half, things like that.
Yeah. And let me tie that together a little bit.
Ebby Calvin LaLoosh.
Yeah. Yesterday, Mr. Russell threw a couple of pick sixes in the red zone. So, that's what he's talking about. Even though he didn't tie a name, final scrimmage, Mr. Russell had a great day. He did some special things. But it was probably the negative plays that countered some of that positive plays. Because, listen, he could spin it. I mean, as you guys will see tomorrow, if you're making your way to Tuscaloosa, it's easy to fall in love with that arm, but he can't. The problem, and if you can have this problem, he almost believes too much in that arm. Does that make sense? I mean, it's almost like he's too confident. He thinks he could put it, and this is college ball. Listen, Duncanville's a big junior college out in, it's a high school, but it might as well be junior college with the level of play that they play. But this is the SEC. And you're going up against a pretty talented secondary, too. You can't take chances. And, that stuff will come around. But I think when you look at the elite level play, he's going to be really, really good. It may not be in 2025, but it's setting up for the future quite nice.
Yeah.
Ryan, one question I'd like to ask Kalen DeBoer, and I don't think I'd get a straight answer out of him with this question, and this is why I want to get your temperature on it, is how difficult of a season was last year on Kalen DeBoer? Yeah, just trying to set up everything. Because to me, I thought he did as well as you could possibly expect, but I know the expectations in Tuscaloosa are higher.
Yeah, and you know what? He kind of volunteered that. I didn't press him on the expectations, but he talked about that what they were able to accomplish last year was not what Alabama fans expect, right? I mean, it's in Tuscaloosa. I mean, like right now, most Auburn people would chomp off their right arm for 9 wins. I mean, they would go crazy for 9 wins. I mean, there wouldn't be a roll of toilet paper that could be found in Lee County if they won 9 games with 4 consecutive losing seasons. But in Tuscaloosa, 9 wins it's unacceptable, right? I mean, it's one of those things. And Kalen DeBoer knows that. I mean, he volunteered that. I didn't even have to bring it up. He knows the expectation level here in Tuscaloosa. But the thing that I thought, I kind of did something of what you're trying to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him if he could compare last year to like go in last spring. In other words, where he is right now compared to where it was at last year at the same time.
Yeah.
And I thought he gave a really good answer, and he really kind of added to it. He said, well, you have to kind of look back and think about how fast we were moving. We were replacing coaches, but I think it's just the comfort zone, knowing everything. I mean, think about probably some pregame jitters that he probably had walking in Bryant Denny Stadium for his first time. That's the surreal moment that you are the University of Alabama head coach. I mean, you're the most important person in the state of Alabama. I mean, it hits you to me. And I remember in the tunnel with right as they were walking in, he was waiting for his team, and he had already made it there and done some media availability, and he was waiting right there at the tunnel, and the glass doors opened right above, and there he emerged. And when he went out there and he saw that fans that were there, I don't know, 25, 30,000 there at the Walk of Champions, he had a smile on his face. I think that was the moment that it hit him. Is like, I am the University of Alabama head coach, and he saw his team, walking down the Walk of Champions with thunderstruck. That was a moment that I think that's when he knew he became. Yeah, I mean, he obviously knew he was an Alabama coach, but that's when it hit him. I think that how special of a place this really is when you're showing up for practice, and I hope Alabama fans, don't take it for granted. It's the injuries that have kind of prevented them from doing this big full A-Day. I know they're trying to manage some things, from a roster management side of things, but I still think that, hey, if I could have invited anybody to practice yesterday and I'd have said, hey, I got a free pass, how many people would line up? A bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people, if you get a chance to go see practice and you get a chance to see, what Drew and myself and Steve and everybody else have been describing about this team, there's some positive energy in Tuscaloosa, and let's see what tomorrow will bring.
Yeah, and then the interesting part too is that you gave us a little bit of tidbit there, but there wasn't a whole lot of buzz coming out after the last scrimmage, and that's just the way coaches run programs. I mean, Nick Saban, he ran his program a certain way. And Kalen DeBoer is very media savvy. He runs his, the way he wants to. And I think he's become very comfortable. I think it's been a smooth spring myself. I mean, there's been stuff coming. You hear buzz and things of that nature. But Kalen DeBoer tries to control that message a little bit. But it just seems like to me, I think that you hit it on the head, Ryan. I think there's a comfort level. And I think that the coaching staff has settled in nicely as well, especially bringing Grubb back, bringing in Jason Jones and making some of those tweaks.
Well, here's your quote of the spring right here.
Right.
And it goes from Jaden Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
When he looked at us last week, and I'm trying to think if it was Wednesday or Thursday. Let's see, they did Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so it had to be last Wednesday. When he looked at us and said the Ryan Grubb butt chewings are worse than Nick Saban butt chewings.
Wow.
I was going, I believe I would pay to see that. So if there's anything that might get you to Tuscaloosa, bring you some binoculars, maybe a telescope, and see if you can see those butt chewings, because Ryan Grubb has been known to chew a little bit, bark a little bit. But yeah, when Jaden Roberts told us that, I think there was a follow-up in it like, did we hear you correctly? And, I'd love to have like Coach Saban where he's not aware of that quote. And I'd love to sit down somehow and interview him and then like hit him with, Coach, I hear you're running second place in the butt chewing department. Being a competitor, what do you think he would say?
Yeah. Oh, really? But I went through this a little bit last night on the drive, but it is interesting to me how ESPN Stats and Info, they're giving out these spring previews.
Yeah.
And under Alabama, Ryan, it says, can Bama bounce back under the second-year head coach of Kalen DeBoer? And I'm like, wow, can Bama bounce back? Boy, can they recover after a 9-win season. And by the way, the 4 losses were the most for Kalen DeBoer in his 10 years as a head coach.
There you go.
So, I mean.
But that's the difference in Tuscaloosa. Like I said, there's a lot of programs that would make T-shirts and throw toilet paper and celebrate. In Tuscaloosa, it has been I would say that these guys would call it a failure. I mean, it's what it is. I mean, it's just the standard in Tuscaloosa. Now, I do think that Alabama fans, and this is probably where I'm going to kind of rub them a little bit the wrong way, I do think they have to recalibrate some of their expectations. I don't think you're going to win. Coach Saban didn't win at the pace that he had won in the first part of the dynasty. College football, it's a different sport. I mean, the parity is here. You're not going to go, I don't care if you're Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, you're not just going to go back to back to back and, 3 out of 4 and 2 out of 3 and all these different things. No, I just think when you look at it and from a standpoint, I think you're going to see, the barometer has almost got to be, making it a college football playoffs one, be one of those 12 teams. Mm-hmm. And, maybe it's the semifinal game that the level of expectation. Yeah, they want you to, run deep in the playoffs. But I don't know if the barometer is going to be national title or bust. I just don't know if that's fair in current college football. The structure is so much different. And that's just me, observing from the outside. I think this is something that Alabama fans are going to have to recalibrate.
Yeah, well, it's tough. I mean, Nick Saban set such a high standard, but I do think that Kalen DeBoer has got things rolling in the right direction heading into year 2, and I'm anxious to see it. Going to be good to be over there at practice tomorrow and get a chance to take a look at the guys. But we appreciate it, Ryan. We know you got a busy schedule as always. Thank you for joining our show today on my 50th birthday.
Hey, hold on. Whoa. 50th birthday?
That's right. It's his birthday today.
The big 5-0.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Drew DeArmond. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, buddy. I did not realize it was 50th
there
birthday.
You go. Appreciate it,
That
Ryan.
is so incredible, man. You guys have a great morning. Appreciate you, Steve.
The content king right here. How much content has this man given you and your show in the tenure of Ryan Fowler?
Yeah, there you go. He sang me happy birthday. I figured he would add a nice little cherry on top there. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Ryan.
it.
That is Ryan Fowler. You can hear him every weekday afternoon down in Tuscaloosa. Is it still 100.9 or is it some other dial position?
Yeah, it's
okay.
100.9.
I know they bounced around there for a minute. We've stayed right here at 97.7. I'll tell you that much for 15 years. So anyway, Content king right here. I'll tell you that. We'll go ahead and take our first time out. We'll talk a little Alabama baseball coming up later on this hour as they take on Mississippi State.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a new wreck in on Hughes Road at Gillespie. That one's reporting as an injury type. And we're getting one in on the Parkway at Hobbs Road. That one's reporting as an injury type. Looks like they've cleared Walnut Grove and Buddy Williamson and Homer Nance and Gary Glenn Boulevard. That one reported as an injury type. If you tried numerous weight loss plans and nothing seems to work, your hormones could be the problem. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are home for a total of 15 games in the month of April. Promotions include 4 fireworks shows, 2 bobblehead giveaways, 1 cat night, and even an appearance from Bluey to round out the month on April 27th. To get your tickets and learn more about everything going on at Toyota Field, check out TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Never miss 1 second of Charger baseball with the Charger Zone.
David's going to send this one into the gap. JC Wilburn get to it. He dives and dives.
Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
One more of those. What movie is this from? A movie?
I think it's the same movie.
No. Is this the arm wrestling movie with Stallone? The hat backwards? No.
Over the Top. You're thinking of Over the Top.
Over the Top. Yes.
Joe knows it. Is this Karate Kid?
No.
Closer.
It feels like Karate Kid to me. What is it?
It's Rocky 4.
I was going to say, this is Drago.
Rocky 4. Is this Drago?
Yeah, Drago.
I must break you.
Yeah. He's like hitting a piece of iron.
I must break you.
Right.
As soon as we are done, the Blitz will take over. And evidently, Joe Hunk took over all the play-by-play here because that's all I'm hearing on these liners. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I'll be in Evansville tonight.
Come on. You're on in the evenings. You usually aren't up this early.
No.
Unless there's an unmitigated disaster like a locked door.
Every single time Scott asks me to fill in, I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Right.
Then the night before, I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
Well,
I gotta go to bed.
Well, Sunday couldn't have been a whole lot of fun into Monday because we had a locked door. So.
Oh, no.
That was Tuesday, actually.
You're right. That was Tuesday.
Right. Sorry.
256-576-4977 is the telephone number if you'd like to participate. Don is up next.
What's
Good morning,
up,
Don.
How are you, man?
Happy birthday, Mr. DeArmond.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate that.
Great day.
Thank you, sir.
I've got a question about the portal, and I'll give you my opinion. And I'll probably be the first to tell you that I don't follow the portal real well or real often.
Gotcha.
I feel like that this is just my opinion, and maybe you tell me I'm totally wrong. I hope you will. Last year, I thought that when Alabama went in the portal and the people they got, they basically improved themselves. Just about every position they got out of the portal.
Are you talking about football? Or?
I don't feel like they did this year. I feel like they.
You are talking football, right? Not basketball.
No, I'm talking basketball.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, are you talking about after now that the season's concluded? You don't think they improved themselves?
No, in the portal this year. I mean, this year coming for next year.
For next year,
the kids for next year. I think we've got more losses, and I'm not talking about from guys that graduate. I mean, guys are going to graduate. That's the way it is. But the loss of Stevenson, the loss of Diabate. I don't know that we really have improved ourselves with the people we've gotten in those spots. You follow a lot closer than I do. What do you think?
Well, I mean, until you see the guys practice, it's hard to say. But I know that Noah Williamson was heavily sought after by Kansas and Ohio State, the Patriot League Player of the Year, 7 foot 250. I think he's a different player than those other two that you just mentioned that departed Alabama. Certainly hated to see Mo Diabate go. And Jaron Stevenson, was a key cog in the Final Four run 2 years ago. But let's be blunt, he averaged 5 points a game. So I think Alabama has already replaced that production, quite frankly. If you look at Jalil Bethea, if he ends up being as good a fit as Aiden Holloway, he's an absolute great athlete, a former McDonald's All-American. He's somebody that I think can be very, very valuable. And then I think when you look at Taylor Bowen, he's someone that's a stretch four that can really shoot it. I think he has to translate, but he shot 41% at Florida State. I think he's already better than Jaron. So I think they've done a nice job replacing some people. We'll see. I mean, the big thing is going to be retention, though. They've got to feel really good going into next year about your team. I think they've got to retain LeBaron Philon and Darion Reed. And then, if you find the right piece for the 13th guy, that's fine. And people have already asked me, what about 15? I don't think Nate Oates is, or any coach. I know that settlements, they're trying to get that all ironed out, but I don't think any coach is approaching it like, I'm going to have 15 scholarships. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep 15 guys anyway. And so certainly Keyshawn Murphy from Ramsey, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The money would have to be absolutely 100% right, I think, in that situation. I think Keyshawn would be a good fit. But again, he may get a bigger offer from somewhere else, and he's in a situation where he's got 1 year.
Takes one. I mean, it really just takes. That's what makes this whole thing a crapshoot, honestly.
And I know Alabama likes him, and I know they've been in contact with him, but if you can't get the money right, he can end up at Auburn because Auburn is having to. Auburn has to replace. We think they're going to have to replace Chaney Johnson, and so Keyshawn could help you do that.
I just don't see him being a really super good outside shooter. I remember him from high school, and he's always been.
And he actually shot it better in high school from distance, and maybe Nate Oates could get him rolling. But I did think he had a really solid year at Mississippi State Sands. The 3-point shooting, everything else was good, and I think he would be a good replacement for a guy like either Jaron or even Mo Diabate. But again, this is the way I look at it. Mo brought a lot of intangible things to the table. He's probably the biggest loss, but he also averaged 7 and 6, and I think they can replace the production, but you just got to have the right fit. And I think the one you can't lose is LeBaron Philon. You got to have him back, and even Darion Reed, because Darion, that could be 2 of your 3 best players along with Aiden Sherrill. So if Alabama wants to be a top 10 to 15 team, then those are the guys they need to retain.
We are right up against the break, sir. I appreciate the phone call, Don. I hope that made you feel better.
Birthday.
Yes, sir.
I hope you do. Take care now.
Let's go ahead and take our second time out. Alabama, Mississippi State square off tonight. We'll talk more about that next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid-60s. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, but otherwise it's going to be a quiet afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. Dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight. Plenty of sunshine for your Saturday, but we are definitely going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Temperatures climbing into the upper 50s, lower 60s, dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive.
Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
Hey, there's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Oh, this is easy. Is this 48 Hours? Is this Beverly Hills Cop? That's easy. Well, I mean, those two movies interchange. I mean, come on. Add Eddie Murphy and just,
Oh, yeah. Nick Nolte with a cigarette.
Yeah. And there's a great comedy routine that Peyton Oswalt does about in every single Nick Nolte film. At some point, you're going to hear, oh. Anyway, we've got Alabama baseball coming up for you tonight as the Crimson Tide take on Mississippi State. The Crimson Tide ranked 12th in the country, but the Bulldogs struggling a bit. 3-9 in SEC play for Mississippi State. Alabama 7-5, but again, SEC baseball is no joke yet again.
No, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's the deepest league in America. I didn't recheck the polls this week, but I know last week 8 of the top 10 were from the SEC. Mississippi State's got one of the best traditions in all of college baseball. Yet it's almost like they had a trade-off. They're 20-13 right now, 3-9 in the league. But ever since they finally broke through and won the national championship, it's like it's just been a struggle bus. It's been really strange. Now they're not going to ever get trade the national title.
No,
but it's just seemed like it's been a struggle for Mississippi State since they won it. And we're going to talk to one of my good friends. He does a great job over in the state of Mississippi, and of course on his daily radio show. I'm always honored to be a part of it. And of course, I'm talking about Jake Wimberly, and Jake's been busy. I mean, the entire state of Mississippi. I mean, I was blowing people up all week, and I don't know what's been going on over there, but there is a lot going on, and Jake does a great job over there on in Jackson, and as the program director and the host of his daily radio program, and he's been kind enough to join us and talk some Mississippi State right now. Jake, good morning. How are you?
Guys, doing well. How are you? Happy Friday.
Thank you, man. How are you? And you're a Mississippi State guy. Let's understand that. You understand the inner workings of it. Am I wrong? I mean, and again, I was happy to see Mississippi State break through and get off that list of the best programs to have never won the College World Series, because they were such a powerhouse for so long under Ron Polk. They break through, they win it, but it's almost like they paid a price for it, because it's kind of been a struggle since then for Chris Lemonis.
Been a big struggle, and we used to joke about, on air, hey, would State and Ole Miss fans trade the rest of their program's life for a national championship in any sport? And everybody, of course we would. Of course we would. And now it's like, no, we don't want to really do that. So, it's been a struggle. I mean, and it's been a big struggle. And, Chris Lemonis has lost a majority of the fan base. We get those calls and texts every day. And, we've had people, we spent, and guys, how these shows can go. I mean, one call or text can kind of send your show in a different direction. And sometimes that's a great thing. But we've talked about, people talking about, Mississippi State, what do they do with their NIL as far as baseball is concerned? With the struggles in football, should they put more money into baseball? I mean, Mississippi State fans are a unique bunch in that, I think they would trade football and basketball for baseball, a lot of them, just because of, as you said, the history and the tradition and Duty Noble Field and everything. So where this program is right now is not sitting well with the fan base.
No, I can imagine that. And of course, we're talking to Jake Wimberly, host of the Afternoon Drive from 3 to 6 each and every day. And then, of course, as you said, so right now they're 20-13 and 3-9 overall. They're headed to Tuscaloosa. They did just have a good series win over South Carolina, but we both know Steve and I, Paul Maneri, very well. There's not a classier guy in coaching, but that's a rebuild right now for Coach Maneri.
Yeah.
But Mississippi State had to have that series.
Had to have it. I mean, when you're talking about, again, coming over to Alabama this weekend and playing a 3-game set, and then Mississippi State's in a hole right now. I mean, they've got to have some wins just to have an opportunity to play postseason baseball. I mean, but then they got Florida coming up. That's a series they could possibly grab a game or two in. Ole Miss is going to be, a series later on down the road that's going to be very tough. Auburn, and then of course Kentucky. So, and they finish it out with Missouri. So, I mean, there's some wins out there. This one this weekend is going to be very, very tough. I think for Mississippi State fans, to stomach. I mean, they could come over there and possibly get a game, but I would be shocked if they won the series this weekend.
I did tune in last night and saw Texas A&M with that walk-off against South Carolina. So, I mean, I go there to simply ask, well, what's gone wrong? Is it batting? Is it pitching? Is it not putting it together? Is it errors? What's going on?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, it just depends on which game you've watched. I mean, sometimes Mississippi State, you go back to that LSU series. That was, that opening Friday night ball game was a game that Mississippi State led till late in that ball game, and then, gave up some big hits late. And sometimes it's just been, not being able to get out of an inning with pitching. Sometimes it's not timely hitting. They just have not been able to pull it all together, and it's really a head scratcher.
Yeah, it really is, and I guess we knew that Chris Lemonis got some equity for winning the national championship, but how hot is his seat getting now?
That's a great question. I mean, I would have to say that it's pretty darn hot. I mean, you're talking about a guy. I mean, they did make postseason last year, but getting off, to this slow start, and there have been, rumblings coming out of the athletic department that, hey, nothing is that, even though a lot of the fans want him out right now,
wow,
nothing's going to be determined until the end of the season. I think when you look at Zach Selman, he'll have a decision to make if this team does not make postseason baseball. Because, guys, you know how this goes. I mean, look, he could turn this thing around maybe next year, but if you lose your fan base, if you lose people coming in the gate there, then that's a big, big problem.
Well, and then, too, you have an athletic director like a Zach Selman who didn't hire him. John Cohen did. He goes to Auburn, and they win it all in 2021. John Cohen's there, and everything's great. And then your AD leaves, and then the program starts to kind of slip. You have a couple of years where you don't make the tournament. Then you get back in last year, as you said, but then they didn't advance as far as they wanted to. This is and then they've made such a financial commitment. I'll give Mississippi State credit. I mean, that renovation to Duty Noble Field. I mean, it's a beautiful facility. They've, Steve Robertson, as you know him very well, he's been on with us a ton. He's not afraid to say Mississippi State is a baseball school, so you have to win. And I know he likes Lemonis a lot, but I'd say bare minimum they need to get into a regional and make some noise. But like you said, I'm sure Chris Lemonis wasn't thrilled when Texas and OU showed up, because it makes the league even tougher.
No, there's no doubt about it. And we've talked about this year, and I'm sure you guys have too, is, from a Mississippi State and Ole Miss perspective, when Ron Polk was running through the league, and, Skip Bertman down at LSU, there was only 2 or 3 teams that were, or universities that were really committed to baseball. And obviously we saw, kind of an uptick in the 90s, from Alabama sometimes, Auburn sometimes, other teams as well. But, guys, I mean, just like you said as you opened your segment here, I mean, Arkansas, Texas, LSU, Tennessee, you can go down the list here. Mm-hmm. Everybody's committed to baseball, just like they are basketball and just like they are football. So it makes it much tougher for even a Mississippi State, who is, traditionally a baseball school, when you're battling in a league like this.
Well, and also Ole Miss is ranked 6th as well. I'm sure that doesn't help.
Well,
matters.
And Bianco went through his own trials after winning it. He won it all, and then they had a couple of bad years, and there was people wanting him to retire.
But Ole Miss looks like they're turning it around
like
this
he's
year.
Got it going again, though, Jake.
No, he does. No, he really, really does. And and that's another thing. It kind of trickles down, and you guys know about it because of Alabama and Auburn in that state. Is right now what we're seeing probably the biggest divide between Mississippi State and Ole Miss that we've maybe seen in my lifetime. Wow. Athletically. I mean, when you look at what Keith Carter has done as athletics director at Ole Miss, I mean, Ole Miss obviously did not make the college football playoff, but you look where Lane Kiffin has that football program versus Mississippi State in football. Then you go to basketball. Mississippi State obviously made the tournament, but they've had 2 or 3 years where they've been 1 and out. Ole Miss makes a run to the Sweet 16. Now baseball, Ole Miss, as you referenced, Bianco looks like at 26-7, he's got this team turned around. State doesn't. So there's a lot of pressure in Starkville right now.
And then that's a great point, though, with Zach Selman. He made the Jeff Lebby hire, and it looks bad the first year. Is Jeff going to have to show a lot of progress this year, or is Zach going to start feeling heat? Because Mississippi State, now, I will say this. They understand that they're not a program that's usually, winning 10 games a year, but they also want to be very competitive, go to bowl games, win 7-8 games a year, and then occasionally make a playoff run. But how much pressure right now is Zach Selman going to start feeling if this football program doesn't turn it around?
Oh, I think he's definitely going to feel some pressure. I mean, part of it comes from the baseball side right now is why has he not done anything? Why
waited? Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, he's not as. And Zach Selman, of course, I think he's done a great job. But he is not as out in front as say a Keith Carter is, who's constantly in the media, constantly out speaking. I'm sure Zach Selman's doing some of that, but you don't hear about it a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the page to football. And look, Lebby, I think he likes this roster. He's, even the spring that this team looks more like an SEC-made team. But again, the problem is the schedule. So this team may be better, but if they roll off another 2, God forbid, 3, 4 wins, then there's definitely going to be some pressure up there.
Since the passing of Mike Leach, Mississippi State has gone 7-17 in football and 1-15 in SEC play.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
I miss Mike more than anybody.
Everybody does.
And really, where that program was led, it looked like he was about a year away of a potential special season. It's just this is a vitally important year for the program. It feels like to me, Jake.
Oh, it is. And just what you said, I mean, I do think Mike was pretty darn close to having that thing, humming in a direction where, kind of keeping it above board. And what I mean by that is where Dan Mullen had it. Joe Moorhead didn't tank the program, but he didn't meet expectations. So, looking at Mississippi State and just watching them even at field level, a couple games last year, 2 or 3 games last year, 2 or 3 games the year before. They just did not look like an SEC ball team last year. I mean, I can remember just watching them several times last year thinking, this team does – I mean, you look across the field at whoever they're playing in the Southeastern Conference, even just bodies, speed, not even close, which, again, this is a very, very pivotal year for Jeff Lebby.
It really is. Well, 105.9 ESPN 105.9. That's where you can find Jake Wimberly, and you can find him there 3 to 6 on the afternoon drive. We appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend. It's going to be an interesting one for Alabama, Mississippi State, because Alabama needs this series as well, because you're trying to stay in the top half. They're trying to stay in conversation for hosting a regional, but State needs it just for Chris Lamonis and his job security. But we appreciate you, man, and thank you, and have a great weekend. We always appreciate the time.
Anytime, guys. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Jake. I mean, saying that out loud, how about 1-15 in SEC play in the last 2 seasons?
Well, and I'll just be honest. When I saw the staff that Jeff Lebby put together and some of the guys that he hired, and I was like, and because I wasn't high on Coleman Hutzler at Alabama, and I thought, man, this may not go well, and it was just horrendous. It was their football team, and the portal era makes it harder too, because you're trying to mesh all these guys together.
Their spring game is scheduled for next Saturday too. It's not tomorrow.
It's Easter
and
weekend.
The portal opens obviously on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I know some SEC schools have strategically planned to keep practicing while the portal's open. And I don't know how smart. I really don't know how smart that is.
Yeah.
But I mean, this whole thing is new. So I don't know if that's a good decision, or we're going to find out kids that just go, you know what? The portal's open. I'm gone.
Well, the funny thing is you can't control it from all that, because the coaches can't stop a kid from going to the portal. All he has to do is go to the administration and just say, hey, I as far as your general manager of the football program or some administrators, and be like, I need to fill out this paperwork. I'm going into the portal. They, and Jake Wimberly, if you go to his Twitter account, Ross Dellinger's been trying to keep everybody, and Ross is as sharp as they come. But Jake, Mitt Winter, at Winter Sports Law, he's keeping up with this case. He said, in addition to placing restrictions on athlete compensation, which is what they want to do,
that's right.
Regaining the power to place unilateral restrictions on player movement is the reason the NCAA and Power 4 want an antitrust exemption. And eventually, I think that's going to happen. Look, man, you can't. It's crazy to watch these kids play at 4 and 5 different schools. It shouldn't happen that way.
We do need to take our final time out. We'll wrap things up here on Talkin' Ball coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's really only one headline. It's Drew's birthday. I mean, that's today's headline today. We will have plenty of sports going on, so download our app. Just search 977 ESPN just in your Apple store. Only in your Apple store. That's for Joe Hunk back there, Mr. Appleman. Yes, if you have an Android like I have, you can still go to your Google Marketplace and go over there too. Just search 977 ESPN. So baseball starts at noon, I think. And then softball. I know softball got moved up to noon as well. It's a doubleheader. Austin Coletti is filling in for me because I am on a bus up to Evansville, Indiana for game 2 of the series. I can really hope. Can we just keep it to 3 periods tonight? Can we just keep it to I would like
close
to get,
it out.
I would like to get home before 3 a.m. I'm setting it at 3 a.m. You going to give me over or under 3 a.m., Drew DeArmond, on getting home.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, well, I think it's going to be another cannonball run, Steve. It's going to be like it was for when you got us home from Dallas, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what
picked
we're
up
going
the
to have.
Coors Light and just have at it. Let's talk to Jamie. Jamie, the floor is yours.
What's up?
Drew, happy birthday from Mike and Jamie Bentley.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And are you having a good time in Tuscaloosa?
We are having a good time. My sister Patricia and daughter Jane Catherine all are here and ready to go to the champagne and shoulder pads. And we still want to say thank you because I didn't know about it till you had mentioned it that time we'd all gone out to breakfast. So my girls are going to say, happy birthday.
There you go. Have a good time, ladies. There you go. Perfect way to end the show.
That's perfect. Y'all enjoy.
Have a great day.
Thank
Enjoy.
y'all.
Take care.
Y'all
Thanks.
have fun in
We
Tuscaloosa.
will.
Learning football from Kalen DeBoer.
That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah.
Look at you informing the public.
I did. They were going to learn the finer points of football.
Happy birthday, Drew.
Thank you, Steve. Safe travels, and hopefully bring a win back from Evansville, and then get you some rest when you get back home at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, because I got softball tomorrow. I know. If it doesn't rain.
Uh-oh. Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take